I'm Summer Huntington of Steel Mace Vinyasa, and today I'll be talking about how to release the hip flexors with Steel Mace Vinyasa. Let's talk a little bit about the hip flexors. Now, oftentimes when you are doing repetitive squats or repetitive lunges or just conventional lift, or even sitting for long periods of time, you'll find that your hip flexors will start to shorten and get tight. And so poses like kneeling lunge in yoga tends to create a lot of pain for folks that have shortening in that area. So if you endeavor to open up the hip flexors and to release the residual tension from that area, both the muscle belly and the fascia, highly recommend starting with load. So this is a 7-pound steel mace. We've got reverse guard position, one hand on the bottom, one hand on the top facing out. See that the forearm is down below the chin. Most men or individuals with tight hip flexors, even just being here is a big ask. And so the idea is you utilize the mace to kind of surge forward and incrementally increase that range of motion in the hip flexors. So you're surging into a kneeling lunge while pressing the mace up and overhead, building heat in that area, integrating the breath, going really slow, working on precision. By having the steel mace in your hands, you'll find that you're able to distract yourself a little bit because you have a task and you're performing multiple reps. Versus in yoga, usually you'll just go into the stretch and it really causes most people with tight hip flexors a lot of pain to be there. Other things to think about are integrating a little more speed and a power breath. Exhale. If you want to advance the drill, you can curl the back toe under, lift the knee, find a little balance there in the high runner's lunge. Exhale. Notice the feet are hip distance apart here. I'm going to spread the toes wide. Notice I'm holding my mace shoulder distance apart. I'm not holding it all the way out here. This would just be kind of making a little shelf. Instead, I want to really utilize the leverage of the mace. Let's say I wanted to perform a drop swing. It would look like this. The technical names are important when training Steel Mace Vinyasa. This is reverse guard. This is horizontal overhead in a lunge. We add complexity by adding a drop swing. When you're ready to go into the hold, usually you want to stay for 3 to 5 breaths and really start to engage torque, ripping and crushing the mace apart. Eye gaze straight ahead, deepest bend in the front leg. If you want to incorporate more of a back bend, you can drop your mace behind your back, press the arms out, and breathe. And then pull it down and switch sides. Over grip on the opposite side. See that feet are hip distance apart. Find your reverse guard. Elbow married to rib, top hand facing out. This is our reverse guard. Level 1, you can start by just pressing the mace underneath the chin, ripping and crushing the mace. Always notice if there's a difference between the right and left sides. For me, my right side's actually feeling a little tighter today. Eventually, over time, you can press your mace up and overhead. You'll see our athletes down below are actually doing some staff fighting. We're out here at one of our 7-day training retreats in Bali. Really important if you want to get your Warrior 1 dialed in, which is a key essential movement for staff fighting, that increasing hip flexor range of motion is key. We want to lengthen the muscle belly and the fascia on the outside of the muscle as well so that we can get a deeper range, and I'll show you in a moment how that translates into Warrior 1. So our next progression here is to curl the back toe under, lift the knee, press up into our high lunge, lower the knee with control. Notice the timing. Press the mace up and overhead, curl back toe under, lift back knee and hold. Big hip flexor stretch, just holding this high lunge. Back to the starting position. If you want to add complexity, which we do often in Steel Mace Vinyasa, you can add a little drop swing, lower the knee. Maybe you're alternating between the kneeling variation and the high lunge variation. Again, my level 2 and 3 athletes like to add complexity. And then when you're ready to hold the pose, in Steel Mace Vinyasa, we do rounds of conditioning, which I just demoed, and then we hold the posture for 3 to 5 breaths, generating torque, opening up the shoulders, maybe finding a tiny little back bend here. When you're ready, place it down. And then you can make a little mini vinyasa out of it, or vignette, if you will. So come from down dog, inhale left leg high. Now we perform the unloaded asana. Let's see how much deeper we can go into kneeling lunge. Stretching up and out of the shoulders, relaxing the face muscles. In the loaded flow section, unloaded flow, we're integrating ujjayi breath. Hinge forward, press palms to the earth. Switch sides, inhale right leg up. Exhale, step the foot through the two hands, kneeling lunge. So by loading the asana with repetitions, then loading it in a pose, holding for 3 to 5 breaths, the idea is that you're training the nervous system to adapt to the loaded asana so that when we take the load away, what's left is a stronger imprint of what muscles need to be activated to stabilize, what muscles and fascia are being stretched. And then let's see how that applies to our staff work. So in staff training, you come out to one of our retreats to learn the staff training work. Generally, we are stepping back into a warrior one. And then we're here. There's a nice long line that's back leg, trunk, and arms in a line. Feet are hip distance apart. What happens with most athletes, especially men with tight hip flexors, is they only can step back to here, and they're not used to getting all the way down because this area is tight. And so in order to access that hip flexor range of motion, doing drills like our kneeling lunge to horizontal overhead is advantageous so that eventually we can get here. The cool thing about still Mace Vinyasa is you can also train that pose with load. You can rep it out. Again, pulping the fascia in my back leg here to get more range of motion, more entry or more access to the pose. Notice how low my hips are to the ground. Switch sides. Most people, when they do a warrior one, sadly, are just barely even accessing it. In true warrior training, and I notice this when I'm staff fighting, I'm already so low to the ground when I step back. So if somebody's swinging at me, my warrior one is here. Most people are not getting nearly that close because they don't train the warrior one asana. So let's recap. We looked at our kneeling lunge with load, repping it out. We call that Steel Mace Vinyasa conditioning. So basically taking an asana and repping it, getting reps in. Usually we use like a 90-30 protocol or some sort of a timing protocol to make sure that you're getting those reps, building heat, increasing the length of the muscle belly, length of the fascia. Secondly, we went into the kneeling lunge pose loaded and held for 3 to 5 breaths so that we're exposing the body and the musculoskeletal system to that loaded pose, and we have the tool to recruit more muscle units to stabilize, and we're just spending more time in the hold to increase range of motion. Third, we tried the loaded asana, and then we tried the staff variation as well, and we're really looking at the origins of warrior training. The warrior one position in yoga, people tend to think of it as like a very peaceful position, but in warrior training, if you look back through history, warrior one was used to actually defend oneself. So if you're curious and you want to learn more, you can check out one of my Steel Mace Vinyasa programs. You can come out to a training retreat with us. We are dedicated to helping people understand the true origins of warrior training, especially in the yoga community. Hope you learned a little something. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you at the next training event.